Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rachel, not Jennifer Lopez. However, I did film this look and it should be up already. This is the All I Have music video inspired look that the 11-year-old Rachel always wanted to wear, and we're wearing it today. So I'm so excited to be debuting this new look on my channel. Right now, what we're going to film is makeup things that I learned this year. So I originally planned on doing best of 2022, but I think I want to kick off kind of wrap up videos on my channel here with things that I've learned in this year and some of the things that I want to push myself to learn next year, or challenges I give myself, things like that. So if that sounds good to you, I hope you'll stick around, hang out, keep watching, and let's dive into the first thing that I learned. So I have my list here of the things I learned. The first thing is how to properly hydrate and prep my acne-prone and dry skin. And that hydrating is the best thing you can do for your skin, but it's going to look different for everyone. So how to properly hydrate my dry, dehydrated, acne-prone skin. I need a lot of moisture, but it has to be light enough that it's not going to kind of clog my pores and cause breakouts. And for me, that's a lot of kind of gel-like consistency moisturizers and layers of hydration. So how I prep my skin is with a hydrating serum. I use Phytosurgent Sea Submerge. Then I go in with the gel-like moisturizer. They kind of call it a mochi-like consistency on the Phytosurgent website, and it's the Verdant Force Field. And then the last step of hydration that I will do is the Live Tinted 3-in-1 Hue Guard. So it's an SPF, but it's also hydrating, and it is the perfect base for me under makeup. But it also hydrates my skin and keeps my skin barrier happy enough with a lot of those hydrating and soothing ingredients like green tea, sea-derived ingredients. My skin just seems to love that. So hydration is key. I've really learned that. I know a lot of people say it, but I haven't heard a lot of people dive into the best products if you're acne prone for hydration. I know that we've kind of moved away from being overly stripping and stringent on acne prone skin, but I personally haven't had someone dive deep into the best way to hydrate the skin. And I think a lot of my issue comes from the dehydration aspect. So it's not that I have super dry, flaky skin, it's that it dries out and gets dehydrated very easily. So that was a huge game changer in my makeup, and it leads into the second thing that I have on my list, which is I shave my eyebrows. I will link the video of my brow upkeep that I did on my channel. I shave kind of in between here and shape them with a small razor. And I used to not be able to do any kind of dermaplaning or shaving on my face because of the irritation that would happen. And this year I really locked down that if I hydrate my skin first, like use my Sea Submerged serum and moisturizer, or just that serum, and then shave, and then finish my skin prep or my skincare for whatever time I'm doing it, really cuts down on the irritation that I get. And I just shaved yesterday, and usually I would be kind of like a bunch of breakouts or a rash even. You can see that my skin is pretty clear. So if you're getting irritation from shaving or using a razor on your face and you have dry or dehydrated skin and sensitive skin even, I would challenge you to try to hydrate your skin with something first and then shave. A lot of people will tell you to go bare, but I haven't had any negative issues from using something hydrating first. I just turned off my printer so it doesn't yell at us anymore. Which moves me into number 3, which is my perfected blurred base. So a major step of that's going to be prepping the skin. I plan on doing a video about the importance of skin prep, and we'll do a full day wear test, half with, half without. So that is coming. It makes a huge difference. If you find that your foundation is kind of drying out, breaking up, and looking kind of not great by the end of the day or a few hours in, likely you just need to focus on skin prep. That doesn't necessarily mean a primer. That just means getting your skin either hydrated or to maybe even mattified if you're more oily. But for me, it means to be hydrated before I go in with my foundation. And then the second part of that perfected base is that less foundation is going to give you much more skin-like look. So I not only stepped back from full coverage to medium coverage, but I also use much less product. So I currently use the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation, and I have been using this so much, and I'm only down to like here, a quarter of the product gone, and that's because I'm only using like 2 quarter pumps to do my entire face, and I still get a lot of coverage because I do have scarring and a couple of small breakouts here. And yes, some of that's going to show through, but in order for me to keep the texture of my skin looking nice, it needs to be kind of a light layer. And wrapped up into that, I have finally let go of trying to just cover every mark on my face. If my skin shows through, it's just going to help my skin look real and like skin. And I'm totally fine with that. So I fully embraced, my skin is not ever going to look like an Instagram filter. And if you find yourself really wanting to get a more skin-like finish and you have been using full coverage and a full pump of product, maybe try to step back to medium or step back to not using as much and really blending it out. I love that. And that might sound like, duh, Rachel, but that was kind of a big unlock for me in the beginning of this year. And the foundation that really drove that home for me was actually the Chantecaille Future Skin Gel Foundation. It is a medium coverage. You can definitely build it to a full medium coverage, but you can also get it to be very light, and it's very hydrating. And that was what really unlocked, A, my skin needs a lot of hydration, and B, I don't need full coverage to feel beautiful. You can also, go in sparingly with concealer. I didn't even conceal this part of my face because the NARS has more coverage. There are days that I just use concealer, and I'm not striving for a blank perfected face. And I'm so happy that I finally got there this year. In the same vein, I really drove home this year that lip prep is key. And I like to really scrub or use a lip prep item that has AHAs in it, like the Kinship Vegan Lip Jelly Mask. And then a second product, if I'm not using the Kinship, that's kind of like a 2-in-1. It's hydrating and exfoliating. Or I use a stick scrub like the Buxom or the Treat Beauty and go in with a lip balm while I do the rest of my face, so that by the time I get to putting my lips on last, they have fully kind of drunk in all that moisture. And even if I'm using a traditional lipstick that might be more matte, my lips look a little bit better. Key, especially in these colder months. And then the perfected base, the blurred base, I have learned so many tips and techniques and products really that have helped with that. It's going to be that hydrating base that we talked about, and then powders that are going to set down makeup a little bit, but without adding any kind of weight on the skin. I love the House Labs for that. I love the Westman Atelier for that. Again, we're going to go into a best of blur video, but I really think I unlocked my perfect kind of blurred base that looks good on camera, but also in real life, because the majority of when people are seeing me is probably in real life, and I don't want it to look overdone or cakey. So we'll get into blurred, but I think I really did unlock that, and I'm so happy because I've been searching forever, and that hydration was a huge part of that, including my lips to get that blurred effect with gloss. Now we're getting into like makeup things. So the first one is one and dones do work for everyone, but the key is finding the right shade for your eyes and complexion. So I thought that my eye shape, which is probably more difficult to see with this look, but I have slightly hooded eyes on this outer edge here, and I have very deep set eyes. And the way that I like to wear eye looks is really to build volume along the lash line. I've learned that I can get away with one and dones in a very flattering way, and I think that most eye shapes can, but it really depends on the color that you choose, and then obviously the placement, but the color is the biggest one for me. And I had a lot of trouble finding colors until I really sat down and analyzed what my undertones were in my skin, but more so what the color in my eyes were and what would be best suited to really make my eyes pop. And that's what I want out of a one and done, because that color is doing all of the work for you instead of playing with shadow and light. And also keeping that inner corner bright for me was really just not bringing that eyeshadow all the way in. So I feel like I really unlocked the one and done look, and I'm so glad because it's such an easy way to get out of the door and still look like you put a decent amount of effort into your look. So I'm so happy for that. And along those lines, I learned this year more so because I looked at it more analytically, is that Olivia Palermo's Queen of Hazel Eyes. If you have hazel eyes similar to mine or hers, which are pretty close, the shades that she makes are just incredible. I have a couple of videos, I believe, on her palettes. I will link them down below. Her Au Naturel palette is absolutely the palette that I would go with if I could only have one. If you have hazel eyes, please, please, please check out her eyeshadows. Absolutely incredible. I can't say enough. And then along those lines, I learned this year that I totally can wear eyeshadow along my lower lash line and to not be afraid of it. It's definitely, with these darker colors, more of a look. But I was so afraid of wearing that because of my dark circles for so long. And really, it does kind of hide where my crease is. And as long as I kind of am more strategic with... Frank's trying to break in. Hold, please. You're probably going to hear him. He's going to give me the ha-has because he's excited. Okay, we got to give him a little attention. But what I was saying is that if I'm more strategic with my concealer, it's totally fine. And I kind of am really coming around to that look. It definitely amplifies how light my eyes are towards the center of my eyes. And I quite like that look. So I'm so happy that I went outside of my comfort zone. And that brings us into the next item. I think we're on like 6 or something, which is don't be afraid to try new things. I tried a lot of makeup looks that were out of my comfort zone, whether it be color-wise or shape and shadow placement-wise, and I'm so happy that I did. I will link the playlist for Chasing Inspiration where I sit down and just really play with makeup and push myself outside of my comfort zone because at the end of the day, it's makeup and it washes off. Very low risk, in my opinion, and could be a very high return on investment because now I've unlocked multiple ways that I can wear my eyeshadow. And in that, finding inspiration in whatever catches your eye. I did a finding inspiration based off a single color, which was hot coral. I did one based off of the hot springs we saw in Yellowstone based on the colors that were in those hot springs. And then obviously going back and looking at music videos from when I was growing up and finding inspiration in there. I found a lot of inspiration in Mrs. Frizzle this year, which we need to talk because they're bringing the cartoon back and they took all of the creativity out of Miss Frizzle and it is a true travesty and I'm not here for it at all whatsoever. My imaginary children will always watch the old school Mrs. Frizzle. Period. End of story. But find inspiration in anything. I'm being inspired right now by my new phone case. We might do a look based on that. It's just so fun to play around, and giving myself time to do so has been so beneficial for my mental health. So I highly recommend it to sit down and just play around. It doesn't have to be for any occasion whatsoever. Just sit down, play with makeup, try a look that might be outside of your comfort zone. It's done me a lot of good this year. And speaking of, we did one look that was based on Raja's, based on Raja's confessional look in the latest All-Stars season from RuPaul's Drag Race. And I learned that I can do a full beat and wear no mascara and eyeliner and feel fab. And I used to think that I always had to have at least mascara because my eyelashes are very blonde and you don't see any definition on my eye. I learned that I can still do a full beat and really play up my eyebrows pretty strong and still feel like I've done a completed look and I'm fully kind of polished in that way. So that was a really fun one for me to do. And I'm glad that I followed up on that inspiration because Raja looked fabulous in those confessionals and I felt just as fabulous without eyeliner and mascara, which was quite a shock to me. So maybe try some things that you thought were non-negotiables for you in your makeup and leave them out and see how you like it. It does kind of challenge your eye, But it's also so good to feel beautiful in ways that maybe you thought you couldn't before. And just, again, playing around. Like, makeup is meant to be played with, you know? All right, so number 10, I think. It kind of flows along that vein as well, which is I learned this year that duochromes are for a wide variety of looks, and they are for everyone. Today, I have a duochrome in the center of my lid from JD Glow Cosmetics. It's unexpected. I have a whole video dedicated to it because it is an excellent way for someone who is used to wearing more neutrals to get into duochromes, because there are so many beautiful duochromes that are a lot more wearable than we might have thought. And while I do love the style of like Instagram makeup circa 2016, if that's not for you, I don't wear makeup like that. Duochromes don't just fit in that box of like a super duper glam look. Yes, they add some drama, but when I wear this shade all over the lid on its own, it's very kind of understated and beautiful and gives like that wet look beige look. And I just think more people need to talk about duochromes. It's interesting to see like the Charlotte Tilburys of the world try to get into the duochromes, because there are a lot of indie brands that have been doing it for a while, and they have nailed the formula and the color combinations to where you can find just about any combination that you think would be the most flattering to you. And they're for everyone. Duochromes are for everyone. Don't be afraid of duochromes. In that rainbow iridescent eye look that I did from Bad to the Brow and Seeking Shifts, what an excellent mood booster. I now know that anytime that I need a true pick-me-up, I'm either going to go for this JLo inspired look that I have on, or the iridescent rainbow oil slick, and it's all about the duochromes. 100%. All about the duochromes. I'm still getting giddy over just thinking about that video and that whole outfit. So I'll link these videos that I'm mentioning down below. And then the last item that I learned this year, and I have known for some time, but this year really drove it home because I was very consistent with this tip for the first half of the year, and the second half, I kind of let it go, and it showed very much so. And that is cuticle oil is a must if you are a picker and you have to apply often, like a couple times a day, not just right before bed, but while you're sitting at your desk or, you know, watching TV. Apply some cuticle oil, let it sink in, put hand lotion over it if you don't want it to kind of rub off on anything. But if you want nice nails and you want to be able to supply your wonderful nail tech with the good pictures of their hard work, you gotta oil them cuticles. And I promise that I will be back on that train. Bethany, I'm looking at you, girl. All right, so those, 11, 12 things are my biggest kind of beauty revelations of the year. I'm partly telling you this because I want to know what you learned this year, because I love swapping tips and recommendations on my channel. There's more that I learned, but we're going to keep this somewhat brief. I'm not only doing this to kind of share with you what I've learned in case some of this is new to you. I also am excited to look back on this next year and see what we learned and if it conflicts or if it builds upon some of these things that I'm mentioning now, because these were kind of game changers for me this year. A lot of them unlocked a whole new realm of possibilities in my makeup life. And now I want to talk about kind of what am I challenging myself to do for next year. One is keeping with my seasonal wish lists and really holding to that kind of beauty budget, which maybe we'll do a video planning for this first quarter or the winter. But I also want to play with even more styles of makeup. I've never done a halo eye. I never bring darkness into here, but I kind of want to challenge myself to see if I can make that work for me. So we'll continue to do chasing inspirations and playing with different styles of makeup. I want to also find a process for keeping up with brush cleaning. After I film this video, I'm about to clean brushes for like hours, because I just let them pile up. So I need to figure out what works for me. One of you guys recommended Cinema Secrets for kind of quick cleans. I absolutely think that I need to pick that up and potentially kind of not always use that, but lean on it in times where maybe I don't have time to wash, but I need to figure out something for those times where I'm literally just procrastinating. Yeah. Then third, I purchased the Dyson Air Wrap this year with my Ulta Beauty points. I ended up paying $50 for it, the new one. I need to learn how to use that and if it's really for me, because it's just been sitting here. I've played with it once. So I'm challenging myself to really dig into that and see what I can do with this hair. I love the heatless curls that I've been doing this year, but I want to see if the Dyson holds the curl in my hair or the blowout that I really only get when I go to the salon. I want to try to mirror that at home. Number 4 is more music video looks, because I'm living my best in this JLo music video look. And there are so many other music videos that truly had a chokehold on me as a child and teenager, even now, really. So we're going to be doing that. So let me know your favorite music video looks down below. And then next, I want to hold back on eyeshadow releases. I'm very eyeshadow rich right now, and I need to be much more discerning when bringing things into my collection. And I think really that's the only place that I need to hold on, probably bronzers as well. But I think my seasonal wish list and the way that I declutter, I think has been serving me well. So I want to continue with that, but definitely need to hold on eyeshadows. Looking at you, 2023, Rachel. And then the last thing is I'm going to be testing everything that says blur on it, because I want to be the authority on blurring products for dry acne prone skin. I have what I think is my perfect base right now, but I've also seen a lot of makeup releases coming out that are really touting that blurred effect. So I definitely want to test more of that and become somewhat of an authority in terms of reviews on that. And that kind of helps me in the direction of my channel, because I don't plan on reviewing everything. I like to make sure that my collection is very well thought out and curated to my specific needs, but still lets me play around. However, this gives me direction to like, yes, I can do some reviews, but they're going to be within kind of this category. So that's a project coming up for me this year. And I think that's all I have on my list. I'm sure there's things that I'm forgetting. But again, let me know what you learned about beauty in 2022 and what you're challenging yourself to in 2023. I cannot believe that the new year is here. What happened to the last 3 years of my life? You know, I'm sure everyone feels that way, but if you joined in 2022, thank you so much for being here. I'm not yet to a year of my channel being up, and we're over 700 strong, which is wild. And I am so happy that you are here. This has been such a great outlet for me that I have needed for some time. And it's so nice to build this community with like-minded people who are passionate about makeup and fashion and just like to have a good time, you know, and stay positive in a world that might not be so positive. This has really done wonders for my mental health. So I so much appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. I hope that you're entering 2023 in the best mindset and you're ready to have some beauty and fashion fun with me here on my channel. We are hopefully back to our regularly scheduled program, which is Tuesday, Thursdays, with bonus videos on Sundays. And I hope to see you in the next one and that you're having a wonderful day and start to the new year. And I will see you soon. Bye.